Alrighty guys, welcome to week 4 of my SPML Oopers Draft League recap and review. So, for this battle, we've got a tall order. Delax, one of my favorite people to fight within the league, and also a fellow champion. I did not mention this before, but there is a season that I won in which makes me a champion of the league. I won season 4, I believe it is, and Delax won season 7, I think, which was the latest season. We're currently on season 8 for this one. Now, all those seasons haven't been pure Ubers. It's mainly been like basic draft league stuff, honestly. The Ubers part is something we did for this season just because we felt especially it needed to be shaken up, or at least the commissioners felt that I need to be shaken up, and I'm all here for it. Nonetheless, coming into this battle, Delax has a bit of a hybrid snow team and some balance in it. Now, Ninetales, Kyurem White, Palafin, all very big threats. This is the one I'm worried about. Espathra is a demon. A demon. When thinking of how to prep for this team, I was shuddering in my boots, I swear to you. But, nonetheless, thankfully, they didn't end up bringing Palafin, another demon, but nonetheless, or Worthworm. I was not excited to see either of those. But yeah, the mons they did bring are still incredibly annoying. Petron's incredibly annoying. Tentacle's incredibly annoying. Kyurem's incredibly annoying. All of them are just incredibly annoying. My main strategy going into this is thinking, how can I ensure Rock stay up? And how can I ensure he gets punished for pivoting his ice types in and out? Because none of these ice types, they do not have any recovery on them whatsoever. You can put leftovers on them, but first of all, Ninetales doesn't run that item. It runs Light Clay. Arctozolt doesn't run that item. It runs Boots or damage boosting item like Life Orb. Kyurem doesn't run that. It runs either Boots, a choice item, or Life Orb. So, my main thought coming in this is how can I punish Tentacool and leave Rocks up for as long as possible. Nonetheless, let's see how it goes. So, Delax ends up leading with Ninetales, Lola, and Annihilated Bronzong. For full transparency, this Bronzong doesn't have a Steel Stab move. It has quite a quirky set, which you will see actually does end up becoming useful later on. It is Psych Up, Sunny Day, Stealth Rock, Stored Power. You will see why each of those moves are on there. So, Snow comes up, and the first thing I do is I go for Rocks. Delax sees this, or he sees, like a Gyro Ball coming in, and switches the Tentacool accordingly. Now, he Rapid Spins. I knew this was going to happen, so I end up just Sunny Daying. I have the speed disadvantage, which means I will always be able to make sure Rocks go up before he can do anything. Flip turns out into Kyurem White. I set up Rocks. This does kind of suck. Now, I can bluff that he thinks that I'm heat proof because of the fact that I set up my own sun. I'm not. I'm Levitate because I'm fucking afraid of Earth Power and Crocodile Earthquake. So I think, in my best judgment, because I don't want Bronzong to take a Sun boosted Fusion Flare, I swap out Iron Hands, who has an Assault Vest, decently bulky, who gets caught by an Earth Power because of Delax thinking that it has to be heat proof. That sucks. Egg on me. Iron Hands ends up taking 30 or 65 and just ends up going down. But we do reveal that Kyurem is in fact Life Orb. But Delax did properly EV it. If you EV, I believe, in a number, or it's either your HP stat ends in an odd number or it ends in 9. You only take 9% from Life Orb chip, which is pretty good. It's a small optimization to make, but optimization nonetheless. Sucks to have it go down that way. I did originally EV Brian Hands to live either 2 Sun boosted Fusion Flares or 2 Earth Powers, barring damage boosting item, but he brought damage boosting item. But we revealed that. Good information to have, which means I know this thing can't speed Entei. Maximum speed 328 versus 317. I have a really good opportunity here. I can spam Sun boosted Flare Blitz. which is what the fuck I do. Hell yeah, brother. Tera Fire, this is my Tera Captain. Deluxe's Tera Captain is Arctazol. I believe it's Electric Ghost, something else. But nonetheless, Flare Blitz into max defensive Petron, 85%. This is Choice Banded. This is Choice Banded Jolly, and that was nuking anything that came in otherwise. We do take a hefty amount, 28% recoil, but Deluxe, making the smart decision, decides to let go of Petron because now that I know his tentacle is not Boots, I knew that. Well, I figured that out. His tentacle isn't Boots, so it does not live rocks into what's it called? It does not live rocks into Flare Blitz into another Flare Blitz. That is guaranteed. But Deluxe makes a smart play, lets Petron go, and it's out. Ninetales Olola comes back out, obviously not Boots, and it sets up Aurora Veil. Now, I made sure that this specifically kills even with Snow up and Aurora Veil up after Rocks Chip. Without Rocks, it's like 80 to like 93%, I think. But nonetheless, so we got Rocks up. We are able to just take the kill, the free Ninetales given out to Flump Jr. Goated so far. This is where Arctazol comes in. Arctazol is a bastard. Snow is up, its speed is doubled, and Bolt Beak is gonna hurt like hell. So I get Flump out of there, bring in Bronzong, goes for Substitute. Now that Alolan Ninetales is gone, I kinda just wanna like get rid of Snow just so that the Snow buff is permanently gone for all the Ice types and Kyurem. Not only that, but to buff up Entei provided I can get him in. So I Sunny Day up. I realize that, oh wait, shit, it's still going to be boosted even if I switch out, so I have to pivot to Venusaur here. Bolt Beak does a crap ton. Then I Mega Evolve, goes for Ice Skull Crash. Thankfully, it does not flinch, and I roar Arctazol out. That means Arctazol is essentially a bum for the rest of the game. He cannot, he doesn't have the Snow Boost speed, he doesn't have Roar Veil. Essentially, he's going to be taking a lot of chip every time he comes in. And he doesn't have Boots either. I'm not sure what item it ended up being. It might have been something like Magnet. I'm not quite sure. Maybe Expert Belt even. Well, unfortunately, it invites the Demoness Bather up. I have a plan. Now, I Synth up on the Calm Mind. Probably a misplay now that I look back on it. But I was fine here whether they go for a Sub or Calm Mind. So I Synth up, get the free HP back. Then I switch back out to Bronzong. Sword Power bounces off me for 9%. Leftovers heal, and then they get speed boost, and now looking pretty scary with all those boosts. Now they sub up, and I go for the Psych Up, copying all their boosts. Now we've got a pretty beefy Bronzong here as they Calm Mind up. I go Stored Power. I should have psyched up here because I should have known that that Stored Power doesn't break a Spathra sub right now. Nonetheless, it's fine. They end up going for Stored Power. It relatively bounces off. I Psych Up, copy everything again. And then this kind of just goes back and forth for a little bit. They Calm Mind here. I Stored Power to break the sub. Critical hit doesn't really matter at that point. So it was already pre-damaged. Then they sub up again, which is when I take the liberty to Psych Up again. Now at this point, Stored Power ends up breaking sub, so I just go for it. Make sure they can't have a sub up. I go for Psych Up here. Oh no, I go for Stored Power, I just end up boxing. Because I heavily win this trade. If I don't... Okay. I do end up doing a lot of good damage, but I unfortunately don't end up winning the trade entirely because the HP I was at. They end up, just coming out on top. But I do get one more Stored Power in, and it's Chip I desperately need. However, unfortunately, critical hit. Sigh! It's okay. It's not the worst. Basically, what that would have allowed me to do is I would have gotten good enough chip. I would have done 36, which would brought him down to 22, 29 after leftovers, 28 after leftovers, which would be guaranteed kill range for Entei, Choice Band, Extreme Speed. Nonetheless, it's okay. There's a backup plan. That is Sash Chen Pao. I can't really afford to let him get up a sub or anything like that, so I crunch. Now, you can make... After this, I'll show. You can make the argument that I should have Sucker Punched here. And yes, if I was predicting it, but here's the thing. If he subs again and I mispredict, I lose the game. Because if he subs here, he goes 21%, and I still have my Focus Sash, that's fine. But I proc it, he hits me, I break the sub, I go to Focus Sash. Now, he has 27% HP, which means he can go for another sub, which means I have to do another 50-50, and it's a 50-50 I can lose the game off of versus guaranteed kill right here. Basically, if I did call out Sucker Punch right here and I got it wrong, it was basically 25% chance for me to guess right and win the match after that. So I just take the free kill. I'm a very safe player. I'm not going to end up taking that. Now, I probably should have ended up just hitting this, but I was concerned since I knew Serum White wasn't a speed boosting item. I was concerned about leaving Chen Pao in the back for maybe just clean up or as a last ditch effort, so I send out Venusaur. Volt Beak ends up doing 39%. Ouch! Icicle Crash comes out, I get flinched unfortunately, not able to synth up, and Volt Beak just ends up killing me again. That sucks. I send out Entei, who's guaranteed outspeeding. I go for the Flare Blitz, does a jack ton to Tentacruel. I take some chip. The red card, eject button, surprisingly being their item the entire game, comes out. I know I outspeed this. I Flare Blitz again for the kill, but now I'm left at 4% HP. So, if I do take the kill on Tentacruel, I am dead from recoil. So, I end up making the neutral play. I know Delax knows this, and I know they might be flip turning, take advantage of that if I switch out. Nonetheless, I know from this Tentacruel's current HP percentage, if he flip turns out, that is just a guaranteed win for me because of the fact that I can let something die to Serum White, then I can bring Entei back in, and that is basically a guaranteed win thanks to Iron Head. I have Iron Head on this, its last move. It was Sacred Fire, Flare Blitz, Iron Head, Extreme Speed. Iron Head does more than enough Tentacruel on the way back in after Rocks, and also does more than enough to Serum White after the Rocks chip. So, Flip Turn, I'm completely okay with that outcome. Rapid Spin is an outcome I'm not okay with. And the only way to make sure that Rapid Spin never comes out is send out Giratina. So the Rapid Spin ends up being blocked. Very good situation for me, because now, as Delax Flip turns out, I get to Calm Mind up and essentially guaranteed live whatever this Kyurem wants to do, barring crit. Now, this is still a guaranteed game-winning position, because Entei always outspeed. I can always go for Iron Head and just kill it. But, you know, I'd like to have a +1, a +3 instead of a +2 if I can. So, Kyurem goes to the Draco. I live, no crit, thankfully. Then I hit my Draco for the kill, and Tentacruel comes back out just to be cleaned up by Giratina. They go for a knockoff, which I was surprised they had, but my Giratina is bulky. It doesn't even come close to killing. And I go for the Shadow Ball. And we end up getting the win with some of the lowest HP percentages I have seen on my Mons in a post-game victory ever. Very, very close game. Very great game. GG's to Delax. One of my favorite games I've played in all of the Draft League's time that I've been here. Nonetheless, very scary team to go up against. Honestly, if they ditch the Petron and they end up bringing in Palafin instead, it's a lot worse for me. I was thinking about bringing Tapu Fini, but honestly, I think that gave Arctozolt too much mileage against my team already, and the fact that Petron had a positive matchup into it, I was not very happy about bringing it. So, I ended up leaving it at home. Iron Hands was initially meant to be the Palafin's counter, but now that I saw that he didn't end up bringing Palafin, I was fine, you know, relatively letting it go when all things were said and done at the beginning of the game. So those are my post-game thoughts. Honestly, Crocodile was also a sleeper menace. If Crocodile ended up coming, I would have... very scary mon to deal with for my team. Very scary mon to deal with. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.